What's up? My name is Alex Harris. I am the videography coach at Drone Launch. Thanks for sitting in on our 3-part video series where we're going to break down some common misconceptions about drone photography work. Most people think that either there's no money in drone photography or that you have to commit years and years of learning professional techniques and software and all these settings and buttons. In the 3 videos we're releasing over the next couple days, I'm going to be explaining to you why those are very common ideas but completely not true and why that's to your advantage. Because if you take a little bit of time to learn all these tricks, you're going to be ahead of 95% literally of photographers out there. And I'm also going to be telling you about the best 3 things that you can do today to start getting more clients and make your photography worth a heck of a lot more. And today I'm going to be laying out why, whether I like it or not, over half my business has become drone photography. In fact, most of the work I get that is drone exclusive is just for photography. That means when people call me up and only want drone work, not as an add-on to my video service, but just exclusively for drone work, they're asking for photos the vast majority of the time. And this is work that I'm charging like $200 an hour for. So they're still lining up, they're still totally happy to pay. And this to me is something that's rinse and repeat. It's simple work to me because I've done it, stumbled plenty of times to know what not to do. But the point is, there's actually a couple of really important reasons why it has become this way. First of all, I've made a distinct separation from the guys in town who say, I have a drone, give me some money and I will give you something. And they're happy, and that's where it ends. These guys are in a huge line with a million other people doing the same thing who have a toy or do it as a hobby, and they're turning over super cheap work in a huge volume, and it's just not efficient. Basically, you don't want to be in this line. I was already doing photography shoots for money, so to me, the switch from everything I learned how to do with still photography with the camera and applying that to drones is basically the same, but I'm just doing it in the air, holding a remote now. One thing I've seen that is very, very clear, people want to hire photographers, they don't want to hire pilots. You can't just fly a drone and just take pictures. They want you to be a photographer who knows how to fly a drone. All the principles still apply, and that's kind of what put me like miles ahead of the other guys who just picked it up as a toy. Looking back now, I can see some super easy to implement fixes that would have made my life a heck of a lot easier. The right software and specific camera settings. If you want to hear more about this, you can come back to the next video because I'll be explaining all of that in detail. But back in the day, to me, just like the other guys who are in that giant line charging $30 an hour, this was so confusing and difficult and I didn't know where to start. And now that's to my advantage because I'm one of very few people in town who knows all these things. So if they were calling about a drone shoot, it's because they had already seen something I had made, so it wasn't hard to sell them on it. They knew what they wanted, and if my rates are on my site, they were well aware. I've barely had anybody trying to argue the price down because if they see what I'm doing, they know that is exactly what they want. So they're willing to pay a little bit more. And usually the people calling me with these kinds of budgets are commercial properties or land surveillance or resorts or construction, but they're usually not real estate agents. So I've separated myself from that little bucket. So way less stress, way less work, and your clients respect you. They refer you to their other friends. It was honestly just too much fun to begin with. I just started taking photos around town, but everybody lives in my town, so everybody's relevant to the photo. I mean, I can hardly think of a business that couldn't use good photography as a marketing tool. When people see photos of a park in town or something famous in your city, like a monument or a mountain, it resonates with most people, so it's really easy to get attention and get likes, and it markets itself. So even if you're not directly charging for it, it's just a lot of fun to do, and it brings you a lot of attention. So you just kind of go out and mess around with what is basically a high quality toy, kind of just look for what you think would be sweet photos and have fun with it. And naturally, when you get excited, you're gonna want to show your mom, your grandma, your great-grandma, dogs, friends, family, whatever, put it on Instagram and Facebook. Naturally, people are going to remember in the back of their heads, even if they don't call you right away, you're the guy that took that photo. So they hopefully come to you later and say, oh my gosh, I want something just like it. How much do you charge? Or my Uncle Billy, he does this construction thing and he wants photos of the land. Are you busy Saturday? Anyways, who am I? Who is this guy telling me to change my photography career? Why should I care? Well, actually, if you're looking for a photographer with credentials from major brands like Discovery, Travel Channel, CNN, MSNBC, major labels and international networks, I'm not that guy, sorry. Well, that's not completely true, maybe with video work and editing and animation, but clients I have for photography are definitely not the same caliber, but that's only because I got into it professionally a couple of years ago. And that wound up being a really good decision to take the time to learn how to do this because drone photography now makes up, like I said, a big majority of the drone work I do, and I'm charging $200 an hour for it. The point I'm trying to make is that it wasn't that long ago that I was starting, and if I can figure out how to do this, then that means that you absolutely can too. So at the beginning, I was just kind of aiming and shooting and hoping it would print something pretty for me. And as I slowly started to learn these techniques that honestly I should have just started out learning from the beginning, gradually I moved up to a more professional standard. But I'm kicking myself because I should have just figured this stuff out right away, and I could have been doing this kind of work from the beginning. But that probably means you should listen to what I'm saying more, because it wasn't that long ago that I was not completely a beginner, but I definitely did not know the things I know now. The difference between knowing just how to take a photo and how to take something incredible isn't as big of a gap as you think. If you know from the get-go the exact settings to have on your drone, the exact adjustments to make in the software, and how to get your photos some exposure, you are seriously ahead of 95% of people. And again, this isn't the video for that. We're gonna be talking about that tomorrow. And I know that it works because getting these jobs wasn't my intention to begin with. And I didn't charge, I just kind of did it for fun, shooting around and posting stuff online, until I think I kind of got a good perspective of the landscape of the market when I basically had a client beating me in the face with money, saying, shut up, take my cash, and give me photos right now. And then I realized maybe I should stop underselling my work. But to be fair, looking back, I was just starting to figure out that even the guys who charge and claim they're very professional are still making a ton of very amateur mistakes and have the gall to charge outrageous prices. They're producing the same copy-paste material and shooting JPEGs and handing those over to clients because clients don't know any better. So what was it that stopped me from actually improving? Well, I had a really nice camera and I had nice Canon lenses from filming video, and I thought that was enough to begin with. I basically had a sports car and I was only keeping it in second gear. However, totally worth it because I milked it to death and I showed all my friends and passed around photos like they're the best thing ever, but I honestly was not using nearly the potential of what I was actually paying for with that camera. The good news is that these drones are capable of shooting incredible images, and I'm not talking about $2,000 drones, I'm talking about the entry-level drones that cost only a few $100. The even better news is that most people have no idea how to unlock that potential, which is sad, but it is strongly to your advantage because you can turn what they think is a toy into a powerful and professional camera. The other thing was learning new software to me. I didn't want to have to edit photos, and I saw it as an excellent opportunity to procrastinate like no tomorrow, because back then with no perspective, I thought it was just way too complicated and expensive, and that's awkward looking back because the software is literally like 10 bucks a month and it's actually knobs and buttons. And they even give you colors and shapes like you're a toddler. So painfully simple. I cannot believe I spent so much time avoiding this. The advanced features to really pull out the nice stuff in your photo, sure, maybe that takes some walkthrough. The other thing is that I did not know what I didn't know. So I didn't know where to start. I didn't know who to ask or who to talk to. And there's not like a 10 commandments for how to get better at photography or a big index of how to level up for taking photos. I wasn't gonna dig around online to rake up all this information or fall asleep in a library reading a book to figure out how to do these things better. And the only person judging it at the end of the day was me, which I'd always say, oh, okay, good enough, because I didn't know what else to look for. Another thing is I thought nobody needed it because everybody has a camera now, and I realize that's true to some degree, but those are the vast majority of people I mentioned earlier who are still doing the second gear stuff with drones and standard still photos. In a race to the bottom, the little bit you need to do to separate yourself is what pays. So the people who are willing to learn can charge a heck of a lot more. So you don't want to put yourself in line with those other guys who are driving 30 minutes out of town, charging $30 for a 2-hour shoot, turning over photos in bulk, and then not getting a call back. And it's really, really painfully easy to separate yourself. But that, I guess, is to your advantage since most people are doing that. These are simple things like the rule of thirds, like lining up the action in the background with your subject to show both, shooting multiple exposures so you have different levels of brightness to blend together, and not shooting into the sun, not shooting at sunset when there's really harsh, mean light, or how to get good golden hour shots, which is like right at sunset, not before when it's ugly. Or something as simple as how to deliver photos to clients. And I know I keep jumping ahead and getting excited. This is tomorrow's video again. So again, the thing that held me back the most was the, hey, it's good enough for what I do. I don't need to learn more. And I was costing myself a lot of money by not just learning it and getting it over with. The best feeling as a photographer is when somebody finds you and gleefully throws 200 bucks an hour your way because they can't find anybody else in town. So basically when you're in the shut up and take my money position, the best feeling ever. So after all that teasing, am I gonna explain this right now? No, because this is becoming a really long, hey, let's quickly talk about photography kind of video. So tomorrow, we're gonna go over all the cool stuff specifically that makes you look way better, gets your photos to market themselves, and gets people to want to pay you. So thanks for watching. My name is Alex Harris with Drone Launch Academy. I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow in the video specifically about how I started making way more money doing this.